one of the pinnacles of the human experience, a peak towering over the ones who partake in its fruits of focus and precision, glaring at them with the most veritable intensity. What does it desire? Nothing. It simply is. Its splendor is silent and unprovocative. There is no competition. When one looks at a mountain, what does he see? Power, cloaked in silence, the language of the divine, the ultimate precursor to understanding. What can be without the emptiness it is in? The dispelling of all of these illusions of man. It brings it with it the freedom of a clear soul, one focused and unwavering. This is where this peak enters the equation. What is Geometry Dash? One might ask. A question answered not through words, but through being. To understand what Geometry Dash is, one must question our own existence in this plane of consciousness we inhabit. Time, the greatest faker of all. From its beginning it has faked its own movement that one might think it is an entity above all, yet its domain is one that simply does not exist. It twists and turns betwixt the minds of men, creating a sense of temporality. However, our only play in this universe resides in an infinitesimally small point in eternity. This dot, called the present, however small it may seem, extends effortlessly into all. Consciousness is naturally attuned to this all, of course. It is an axiom of being. Its core, one of its main carriers, is soul. The soul moves easily through regions which are unknown and, at times, even hostile to the mind and heart. They are slow, unless they are cleared of all of their baggage, which would allow them to graciously partake in a massless reality much like photons and gluons, fundamental particles necessary for our physical lives. In the same way, the lack of mass is a fundamental truth of the soul and of spirit. Once the weight has been released, mind and heart are relieved, peace is achieved. Through peace, one catches up to the present. Always here, always true. Now the veil of our original question slowly reveals the hints of the answer it obscures. Geometry Dash remains a presentation of the possibility of perfection. It is effortlessly and consistently tuned to the present moment. It is a harbinger of focus and precision, the spears of our curiosity and the ornament of our glory. The game does not demand, it requests. Yet, by carrying the boundless power of these two spheres, the same soul which perceives is predisposed to respect it. It carries with it the same aura of the mountains, and one must kneel to its wisdom. Perfection is the goal of every level, to be precise in one's movement to such a microscopic degree that one willingly gives up all the veritable weight imprisoning him. There is no room for mistakes. The game is in consistent movement. The danger is always approaching. You only have one control, the jump, bound by default to the left click on your mouse and the spacebar on your keyboard. You use this control to avoid the obstacles while the level goes on and the music keeps playing. More features and game modes are introduced later which increase the difficulty and the need for further accuracy. The game does not punish, but it does not reward participation medals, nor does it coddle you. A single wrong input can send you back to the start of the stage. There is no easy way out. One must be ready to embrace excellence of their own volition. Weightless, or rather, perfect. That is what you must learn to be, to climb the game's peak. Every stage is an experience. Once passed, it becomes a testament, a trophy, for one's own accomplishment. A token of an impossibility traversed and conquered, with nothing but the indivisible content of will. With determination, every moment you will soar further. An equilibrium will be known to you. Balance becomes like a title, one which slashes heavier than any blade, but is lighter than the smallest ant. Eventually, one learns the name of hope, realizing the opportunities presented by perseverance, and at last, one reaches freedom. This is how this experience flows, like a river, or more appropriately, a mountain spring, hydrating the life of the one who dared to attempt the climb to drink its heavenly cosmic nectar. One must learn to be like the mountain, to partake in its silent power, yet also to be like water, unperturbed in the flow of the cosmos. To accompany this assertion, I must attest to my own personal experience, instrumental to the creation of its appraisal. I have played Geometry Dash for years now and have lived through countless events which were immeasurably significant in my life. The details are irrelevant for the assessment of this game. However, their relationship with this mountain peak, as I have referred to it, is not. Throughout all this time, it has stood the test of time for me as a reminder of the paradox of impossibility. It is a teacher, one that, through its humble mechanics, taught me patience, and its previously mentioned armaments, called focus and precision. At the beginning, even the easiest levels would bring me a primordial joy, one known even by the first of men, the joy of completion, of believing in greatness and seeing it with one's own eyes. Once I believed that Can't Let Go would be the best I could accomplish, and I was content. However, I ventured further, reaching Clutterfunk, a level I thought impossible for one such as myself to complete. Yet, after 2,000 or so tries, if I recall correctly, it was done. The same feeling of contentment arose, and I judged the later stages with the same degree of impossibility as I had done before. But I suppose there must have been a part of me which surmised otherwise. Thus I marched onwards, and even the so-called demons became mere memories of attempts numbering in the thousands. These demons culminated in Deadlocked, which was certainly worthy of its namesake on my account, for it undoubtedly took the most attempts and most time to complete. When it also fell, I looked back. I ruminated on my humble beginnings and rejoiced at my accomplishments. I have finished all the main levels and reflected on all that had happened in the years it took me to succeed. The game was a witness to all my endeavors, to all my emotions, to my moments of idiocy and wisdom. Throughout all, it stood, awaiting patiently the moment I would march toward victory. It did not deny or accept my pain. It refuses to accept excuses or give you grief. It merely is. I surmise that the prime lesson it seeks to teach is the absolute absurdity of the human mind, of its thoughts, relative to the universe and existence. It wishes for you to see absolute beauty, unadulterated by the irrational machinations of the brain, to mortify what is false and rotten, and therefore exalt what is true. The anxiety, pain, and suffering simply cannot compare to the brilliance of existence nor the divinity of truth. The image upon which all was created, this heavenly image is our foundation as well. Ergo, isn't the phrase, "I can't," ludicrous? Alone we may be minuscule, yet we can do everything through the infinite, august radiance which gives us life and permeates all. We simply need to release our ignorance of what we thought was. We can climb that mountain and conquer its peaks. It waits in silence, quietly commanding respect and bestowing upon us wisdom. Words are nothing. One must be. One must become weightless. This is where fun lies. This is where life truly begins. That is what Geometry Dash is about. One of the greatest works of art ever made. To summarize, it's a pretty fun game and it's definitely worth the price, especially on sale. The music is really good and there's a ton of user-made content since the community is really active. It even receives updates, though they come out once in a blue moon. Recommended for sure.